Fuck that job. Use that PTO, sis. That's why you have it. Coming from a person who has had tons and tons of jobs, I think I'm most qualified to agree that these jobs ain't shit. Especially, not like that, food service and customer service. I've worked at multiple places. I've worked at multiple grocery stores. I worked at a tax place. I worked at Chipotle, Buffalo Wild Wings, Macaroni Grill, Crab Shack, a Chinese restaurant, Starbucks, an electronics store. I've worked in different warehouses. And bruh, what do they all have in common? They all pay you under living wages and they treat you like a slave. Except for Starbucks. Starbucks is one of my favorite jobs that I have ever had in my whole entire life. Not only do they give you good health insurance, they give you stocks, very flexible hours if you're in school, and then you have free schooling. And you work so close to your partners that you always create like this family bond with all of them, and it's amazing. It's like a whole little cult. I love Starbucks though. Okay, so just a FYI, I'm not putting down any people who work jobs like these. It's totally okay if you have jobs like these and you're moving on to the next step in your life, or you need this job to move on to the next step in your life, and this job is literally temporary and you know that it's temporary. I'm talking to the people who are at these jobs and who have they're not going anywhere anytime soon, but it's not benefiting. So when should you quit your job? This is your sign. I'm gonna tell you, if any of these apply to you, go on ahead and quit. One of them is your environment is very toxic. Your environment is toxic. Your bosses and coworkers are toxic. There's a lot of gossip, cliques, disrespect. Your voice isn't heard. Your managers don't stick up for you. And it's just kind of like the Wild West in there. This comes to the point where you're just sad and you just don't want to be there. Another reason will be they don't pay you enough. I'm talking about how you live right now. Your checks are less than your bills and you have already cut out everything. And you are getting the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, and you've been working there for the longest. If they're not giving you any type of raise, if they can't even pay you enough to pay your decent, like your regular bills, why are you there? Cut it. Cut the crap. Like for instance, some of us, we do kind of live above our means. We do go out to eat a lot. We buy all this stuff that we don't need. So we see our checks dwindling. These are people who literally can't even do that. Quit your job. If they can't even pay you enough to live in a box under the freeway, just leave that to the kids who need summer jobs. Next, you are sleep deprived. I'm just gonna leave hospital workers out of this because they have a very important job. I'm talking about like warehouse jobs or like jobs that pay minimum wage that have you work overnight and don't pay you that extra to work overnight. Even if you don't work overnight, you're sleep deprived because you do so much overtime. Why are you doing so much overtime? Stop it. If they're not paying you living wages and you're working a lot of overtime and you're sleep deprived and your body is all out of whack, you're compromising your health for a company that doesn't care about you, cut it. I worked a graveyard shift at a mental facility and we were extremely understaffed. So I couldn't even take days off that I wanted to take. I couldn't even take holidays off to spend with my family because no one wanted to go from the daytime to the nighttime and work that overtime because we were so understaffed. We had one coworker, I remember him. He was such a sweetheart and he would work literally like 15-hour days sometimes. He would do that at least 3 times a week, 3 up to 4 times a week. You know what happened to him? They fired him. Yeah, they kind of just threw him away. And we needed people. We were super understaffed and he was heavily reliable. That same coworker is actually doing really good right now and making living wages and is very not overworked now. Next, it isn't what you want to do and it doesn't align with your goals. So this is for people who just kind of graduated from college. And I understand that sometimes when we graduate from college that we need to get any job that we can for the moment. But you have to keep in mind that you got that degree for a reason. If you got a degree in biology, don't just stay at that job at Claire's for 6 or 7 years when you could be working like in a lab. Or if you're like a math major, instead of since you didn't get that job at the bank, now you're just working at the movie theater. It's just like, it kind of doesn't align with what you want, and you can't really work up in those places. Not saying that these places are bad. These are just things, they're not in the line of what you want to do, and it's not going to help you grow as the person that you want to be. You don't want to be nested at a job that doesn't create opportunities for you to grow. That brings us to our next one. You need to quit the job if it doesn't allow any growth. Are you at a job where there's only boss and worker and there's nothing else? Then you kind of need to let that go, because you need to be with a company that has growth opportunity. It's really nice to have those jobs that promote their workers from within and who offer courses and certificates and even free education for you to move up in the company to a different department, to have you make more money so you can be with the company for longer, because they see you as an asset and they see you as and they actually appreciate you. You want to stay with companies like that. Even when you do come out of college and you do go to a job that may not be in your major, at least you're with a company to where you can move around and you can find something in that company that may be suited for you that you didn't even know was suited for you to begin with. At the end of the day, there is no such thing as a perfect workplace, but there are some that are better than others. So try your best to level up as much as you can in what you can do, and that's something that you're interested in, even in the slightest. And also a disclaimer, I am preaching to you of when to quit your job, and I feel like you definitely should, but also have a backup plan for when you quit your job. Make sure you have enough money saved up before you go. Or if you're just for sure that you're gonna get this job and you're gonna be good and you wanna head for the hills now, do it. Do it. Do it. But don't just do it just all any kind of way. Just make sure that you got your back, you know what you're doing, and if you have the feeling that everything's gonna be okay, go ahead and make sure you have your back. I have your back. We have your back. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I try to keep my videos very short and sweet. My name is Kian. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be trying to post videos every week, and I would like to see you guys here. All right, bye.